So this is a little different. This is not in the morning like I typically do. This is midday, and I decided to pop on here because I wanted to tell you about something I'm getting ready to do to see if you know anything about it. It's called a sound bath. And I have never done one before. Not quite sure what it is, but I think it has something to do with the little bowls that they have, and they sort of have this big wooden stick and they ring it around the bowls, and the bowls make these different beautiful tones. And I think I'm going to read up on it a little bit and see what it says. But I think it has something to do with frequencies and how our body is supposed to respond to the different vibrations. I don't know, but I have been watching a little bit of it on YouTube, and I thought, well, that seems pretty cool. And so I thought it would be a good idea to investigate. And as it turns out, the studio where I do my stretching, it's like a yoga studio, and they have different stretching classes and they have yoga classes. And so in one of the classes that I was in, they mentioned that they do the sound bath. And I said, yeah, I don't think I have time for it. I got so many other things going on. But they said the first one was free. And I think it's like maybe $21 a session. And I think they're like about an hour long. And I thought, I don't think I have $21 for that. But if it's free, let me see what that's about. So I am kind of excited about it. Not quite sure to think about it. I come from a Baptist background initially as a child, and then as I got older, my husband and I, we went the uber religious route, and I do have some experience with Adventism because that's what we were doing. And now we're kind of settled into this space where we're kind of sort of letting people kind of just see where they fall spiritually, so to speak. And something I've always been interested in was some of the more, Eastern ideas about faith. However, because I am so religiously, experienced with baptism and with, being a Baptist and then being Adventist, I don't want to go too deep. You know what I mean? Don't want to go too deep into the spiritualism. But I'm kind of becoming comfortable with the idea of stretching and moving my body. And I've heard people say, well, it's a religious practice. This is the yoga. Oh, it's a religious practice. And when you're doing those body movements, you're actually worshiping, deities and demon gods and things like that. I don't know nothing about that. All I know is your girl is hitting that age where she has to move her body. And I look at it like this. God made this body. My creator made my body. He made my body to do all sorts of wonderful, fun things. I'm not going to let somebody tell me I can't do a pose because they say that pose has been dedicated to some demon god or deity, so therefore I can't do it. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's like telling me that if I bake a cake and I own a cake and it's my cake, that I can't eat the cake and enjoy the cake because somebody else made the flour. You know what I mean? But then they really did make the flour because it's my flour that I made if I grew it in my own garden. Okay, that didn't quite make sense. Let me come up with a different one. So it seemed telling me I can't move my body in a way because it is a worship posture. It may be. I'm pretty sure some people do consider that. Is like telling me that I can't do something such as sing a song that I made and that I've kept. I haven't sold it to anybody. It's a song I wrote. It's a song I made, and I enjoy singing it, and I'm singing it. And then someone comes and says, well, can I borrow your song? And I was like, well, you could borrow my song if you want to, but it's my song. I'm going to sing it. They said, well, no, you can't sing the song because I borrowed your song, and I've decided your song is going to just be my song, and you can't sing it anymore. And I said, well, I didn't give it to you. They said, well, we know. We just decided to take it. That's kind of how I feel about it. I don't know if that makes sense. It makes sense to me. And right now, that's all that matters. I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't understand how somebody can claim postures and positions with somebody's body that they didn't have anything to do with creating in the first place. Because God, the Father, creates our bodies and gives us movement. He gives us joints. He gives us rhythm. He gives us all these things. And then for somebody to come along who didn't create it, who didn't, have anything to do with it coming into being, decides, okay, we're going to take these particular poses and we're going to do what we want to do with them. You can't do them anymore. I don't buy that. So that's what made me say, you know what? I'm going to start stretching. And some people can call it yoga. Some people, I don't care what you call it. It's stretching for me. They want to call it yoga, they can call it yoga. But I want to be able to move my body. And I don't want to be in a position where my body is hurting and I can't get up off the floor and I can't do the things that I need to do as I get older. So that's kind of what I'm hitting at with the yoga. As far as being interested in the Eastern concepts, I'm really not interested in, their ideas about who God is. I'm more interested in the healthy lifestyle practices of slowing things down and, learning how to meditate and how to just keep your body calm and how to move your body and go with the flow. Those are the things I'm interested in. And as far as frequencies go, I'm kind of interested in how beautiful that music sounds to my ears and how it makes me feel peaceful. And I'm hoping it lowers cortisol. That's what I'm hoping that it does. But I don't fear it anymore like I was often told to fear it, through my different religious experiences growing up. And then in my adulthood religious experiences, I was told you can't do yoga, can't do any of the frequency stuff. It's all new age. You can't do any of that stuff. And I'm at the point now where I am trying to find where I land in my relationship to my Creator. And it's just a very interesting journey for me. I'm enjoying it though. It meant that I had to decide that I know what's best for me at this stage in my life, more so than I think anybody else. And I'm very particular about people trying to tell me what I need to believe as far as my spirituality and my religiosity goes. Is that a word, religiosity? Because I guess I've been through so much of it with people telling me this is what's supposed to be and this is how it's supposed to be. And I've probably done that to people, and I can probably see some of my siblings and, some people saying, yeah, you used to do that to us. I'm sorry. I think a person's faith and their, religious, spiritual ideas, it's a very personal thing. And I want to make sure that I am being all that my Creator has called me to be. And I used to always say this when I was very deep into being a highly religious person. Yeah, fairly religious person. And I don't think religion is bad if that's where you are. But I remember thinking how upset some people would get if I didn't do something that they felt I should do. And I'm not talking about my husband, because obviously I do believe that my husband is the head of my home and that he does have some say-so in how he wants, his home to be and how he wants me to, participate in that, as I have some say-so as to how he does it. So I'm not talking about coming together as a married couple and him having different ideas and desires about what he wants from our relationship and from our children and our family and our home. I'm cool with that because I got some things I want too. Let's talk about it. Let's see what we can come up with. I'm talking about people that sort of insert themselves as an authority in your life, or they try to insert themselves as an authority in your life. And I'm pretty sure they're well-meaning, because I probably, like I said, I may have done that as well, not realizing it. But once you've kind of been through it and you've gone through it and you've come out the other end, you're very sensitive when people do that. When they start saying, well, you know what, I think God wants you to do this. Or, well, I don't know, I was praying and I got this dream. And I'm thinking, you have got to be out of your cotton picking mind if you think for 1 nanosecond that I'm going to listen to what you have to say at this point. because I feel that this is my journey. This is what I'm discovering I enjoy, and where I feel I can hear God best speak to me. And I'm a firm believer now. Now, I don't know that I used to be that way, but now I'm getting to be a pretty firm believer that if I take the time to try to get to know God, and I'm sitting at this table and you guys have been hanging out with me, I do my morning routine. Many times I grab my Bible. I don't always grab my Bible. Sometimes I'll use inspirational readings, or I'll use music, or I'll just sit here with my own thoughts and talk to God. Sometimes I'll just be quiet and let him talk to me. But if a person thinks that for 1 nanosecond, I'm going to just take what they have to say as far as this is what I feel God has for you, why would God do that? Why would God ignore the fact that I'm coming to him and just leapfrog completely over me and tell somebody else something about me? He can just tell me. I'm here, I'm listening, I'm trying to figure it out. And I'm learning that you have to be sensitive when people do that to you, when they try to set themselves up as the spiritual leader in your life. Now, I do know we have pastors, people like that, counselors, that we have given that authority to, right? And we've said, you know what, we're going to allow you to lead us in that way. That's different. I'm talking about well-meaning family and friends and, people at church that you meet. You don't really know them like that. And people that have just decided that they think they've heard what God is telling you. Now, mind you, you're feeling really good about what you think God has told you. You're like moving along in what you feel your purpose is. You feel like you're getting fresh word, as they say. You feel like you're getting a fresh understanding of what you're supposed to do and what your purpose is. You feel invigorated. You feel like, man, for the first time, I think I'm kind of understanding what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm excited. And then here they come along trying to convince you that what you're hearing is wrong and that they've got some insight because you have not been listening, or you being, disobedient. And here they come along trying to give you what they feel God wants them to tell you. And I'm not saying these people are being malicious. Some of them are, because, some people got motives. But not everybody. Some people are very well intentioned. But honey, you have got to spot these spiritual manipulators. You have got to be able to spot them. Because at the end of the day, God has called each of us to a purpose, to a thing. And nobody can tell us what that thing is but us and God. It is your work. It is your self-work that helps you figure that out. Parents have a part to play when the children are young. We observe where we see they have natural strengths, natural talents. We observe where they have weaknesses, where they have challenges, and we try to help them, through those challenges. We try to help them strengthen the weak spots. We try to help them strengthen the strong spots so they're even stronger. We try to help them on their path, but we're not supposed to tell them who they are and what they're supposed to do once we've done our work. Now, we do our work. And as parents, the best time for you to do your work is from 0 to about 7 years old. That's when you can really get in there and do the most good for that child's character and behavior. And as far as, imprinting who your family values onto that child. And then as a good parent, observing where their strengths and their challenges are, and then helping them with those. That's what a good parent does. And then you just sort of keep encouraging your child, keep pruning, keep disciplining. But once that child is grown, then you have to step back. You have to allow that child to take everything that you've put in their basket into their suitcase. You have to let that child take each piece out. As my girlfriend liked to say, you got to unpack your luggage. You got to go through your bag. You got to go through your bag. And everybody gets a bag at birth, and people are putting stuff in that bag. And when you get to be a certain age, hopefully it happens for most people when they hit about 18, 19, 20, about 21. But people's brains develop at different pace. And, there's some studies that say that our brains don't fully develop, especially the men. Their brains don't fully develop until they're about 25. That's what some studies are saying. But you know what I mean. When you get to be at that age, when you sense that you understand what's going on and you feel good and confident about who you are, you got to go through your bag. And you got to pull stuff out that people put in that just doesn't serve you. And you got to put stuff in that you want to put into your bag that you feel will serve you better. And you can't let a bunch of people be putting stuff in your bag at that point. You have to be the steward of that bag. I think I like that. I may have to start speaking about the bag. I'm just in that place right now because I'm about to go to this frequency sound bath. I don't know what you call it. What do they call it? A sound bath. And I know some people that I used to hang with and I enjoyed keeping company with, would be so concerned about me doing that because they would think that it's too new agey for them. And this is sort of me declaring that I, with the help of my creator, who I consider my father, my creator, we are the ones who decide what is right for me spiritually. And I guess that's just kind of where I am. I'm feeling really good about life, feeling like I'm in my purpose. This is an interesting time in my life. And this is the beautiful thing about getting old. I should say older for those people that are a little age sensitive. But it is the good thing about being old. You all of a sudden get clarity and you stop caring about what people think about you. And for the first time, if you've done your work, because there's work that you've had to do through those decades. But if you've done your work, like Iyanla Vanzant says, you got to do the work. If you've done your work, then you arrive to a point where you feel good about your choices. You like you. You don't care that people have a problem with what you do. You do what you do out of the joy and the love that you feel for yourself and for other people. And if people don't like it, you're like, oh, well, God bless you. and good luck to you on your journey. And you can move on. And I'm so happy that's where I am right now. And I just decided to share that with y'all. But I'm going to let you know how this sound bath goes. If I like it, I might do a couple of them, every so often. $21 is a lot. So I got to really like it. That's my new thing. When I buy something, it's got to really prove to me that it's something that is benefiting me. Yeah. So if I notice that it's made me feel really calm, focused, then I'm gonna add a couple of sound baths to it. Because I did pick up a Tai Chi class too. So I like that, but I will say the place where I'm going, I hope I can keep going. I have like a little bit of an allergy sometimes to certain incense and things like that. So depending on how my body responds, but I hope I can keep going to the Tai Chi class because I really like that too. Come to think of it, he had those bells there and he did a little bit, like a little bit of it, but it wasn't like a whole sound bath thing. So I just remembered that though there were those little bowls at that place, but he didn't really use them. But I remember hearing him hit it once and it had a little sound to it. So, but anyway, yeah, so that's all. I'm just talking, honey. I'm just rambling. I'm just letting myself be my ADHD self, and I ain't trying to go on no script today. I'm just talking. But anyway, guys, really enjoyed my time here chatting with you, and I'll let you know how it goes. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.